Gotta love trains. Or do I? No, sadly, I don't have train autism. I just have regular autism.
Though I count that as a win, considering that if you like big trains, you have to go outside and touch grass. Ew.
Oh my god, is that the Stadler flirt? I can't wait for the new Skoda 21EV Regio Pandas that are coming soon.
And if you like the small trains, well, you need to work in a Fortune 500 company to afford the kits.
So why do I care about a train game that was released almost 20 years ago? Why do I still think about Sid Meier's Railroads?
Nostalgia?
You can't just... This is not a classroom. I'm not taking any questions. Get out! You can't just call nostalgia on something that was released before I Show Speed could even walk.
If you grow up with a specific film, show, game, beat, whatever, you will naturally hold it in high regard, even if it's not objectively the best.
And looking at the review scores, an argument could be made for nostalgia, because it wasn't really blowing the gamers out of the water, as the scores were quite okay, but I don't think it was nostalgia. Yes, you can feel sentimental towards old things, but still agree that modern counterparts are better in almost every way, and choose these over your childhood favorites. And here's the catch, why I don't think it's nostalgia. This game has no modern counterpart. But you don't even know what the game really is about, so let's fix that first. I'll quickly implant this game into your brain like if you were a chimp with a brand new Neuralink. Okay, I forgot it has a 100% mortality rate. Oh boy, okay, let's take it a bit slower. It's a fairly straightforward train game. You start from a medium-sized city. Around you are more cities or industries. Connect them to each other to exchange goods and profit. With money, build better trains, more railways, profit even more. Buy out your competition, monopolize the industries, more railways, more trains, more profit. Suck every resource from Earth, even more railways, even more profit. So, as you can see, it's quite realistic. But, you know, instead of accumulating your wealth through 5 generations, you can do it in the span of a regular European lunch break.
Professor, this doesn't sound that special. There are tons of train games out there.
I swear to God, I am not a fucking teacher. I'm gonna kill. So why am I saying that this one doesn't have any modern counterparts? Well, the train aspects here are more of a skin, while the core mechanics of the game are much broader. Kind of how like Subnautica is advertised as a chill resource gathering game, but it's actually a horror game. Or how Death Stranding is supposed to be a walking sim, but it's actually a 30-hour-long movie. And how Umamusume is a horse racing game, but in actuality, it's a one-way ATM. Sid Meier's Railroads falls under real-time strategy, a genre I've been avoiding since childhood, because in the fog of war, the Asians are hiding. I'm just chilling, having a good time, my scouts are exploring around the map, while a Korean on the other side of Earth is inputting 100 commands per finger wheel. I booted the game up like 2 minutes ago, I barely had time to read what the buildings do. How do you have an army? This is much slower, it's chill. Instead of a sprint, it's a slow sprint, because you still have to go kind of fast. Especially early on in the game, there's blocks in your way, so you can't completely demolish your opponents. To build rail, you need to spend money. But you don't have that much money to start with. So once you've established your first route or two, you're out of money, if not even in debt. And you just have to sit around, listen to the jams, until you hear that to know to keep on building. This game, Pavlov dogs you so hard. Each time you hear that noise, you know that you got some new fat stacks of cash waiting and it's time to keep on building. The dopamine is rushing in. This is my ASMR. This is my morning routine. But sadly, you almost never see the fruits of your labor. Because you're smart. You're one step ahead of the competition. Yes, the IQ test that you did in primary school that say yours was 130 was correct. Usually, when you're out of money, you will still know what you want to connect next. So you'll be holding your railroad and waiting for the money to come in, so you can build it as fast as possible. But sometimes, like in real life, the money just keeps going away. But like, how is this happening? It was supposed to be going up. How am I in debt? In which case, you do have an extensive menu where you can check a lot of stats. But I'm not going into it because we're here for the train fun, not the fundamentals of Excel. When it comes to alternatives, trust me, I've tried plenty. I want a new Sid Meier's Railroads game so bad, but none of them have managed to capture the essence of fun yet captivating railroad game. They're either too much of a rigid puzzle game, or so complex that it feels like you're doing work and managing rather than playing a game. Or, and it's gonna sound pretty dumb, they're too into trains and railroads, which doesn't matter that much to me. Though there are some games that come close, especially more on the minimalistic side like Mini Motorways, where the game mechanics rely on real-time strategy, a bit of jank sprinkled in, a hint of puzzle, and constantly ramping up the difficulty. But at the end of the day, it's still too simplistic to be viewed as an equal. I'm not looking for a realistic depiction of transportation over here, but the childish urge of putting the square block into the square hole, and the circle block into the square hole, and the triangle block into... It's kind of like chess. There aren't that many pieces on the board, so you can quickly pick up how each piece moves and what it does. But with a bit of jank, so you can like put your rail down and wait for the money to come in, but you don't have to wait, you can just like slightly angle it, like lower the train Hell yeah, that's... God damn it. Like I mentioned previously, the game is also very realistic. If you sit down a track, you never have to think about it again. Yes, you could improve it, upgrade it, change the trade route, but it's not your problem now. You're out there conquering the world, and god damn it, the game doesn't work on modern systems. It does have an autosave functionality, but what the hell does every few minutes even mean? At least in Premiere, I know that if I set it to autosave every 5 minutes, it'll do it within the span of the next 20 to 30 minutes. Here, I played for 20 minutes and it didn't save even once! But thankfully, I have a computer science degree. I can fix her. Okay, to be honest, I just looked up the first tutorial on Steam. It said to turn 1 0 into a 2, and it literally fixed everything. How? I don't know. The masculine urge to speed in a school zone. The game really understands stuff like that. There's no real reason to show it, it's not like you're getting money, just the gloating rights amongst all the CPUs. It just manages to capture the essence of fun. Like at the end of the game, instead of just buying the opponent out and winning, it shows you how far you got on the social ladder. And it might sound weird, but I kind of do relate to old Donnie over here, since we're both presidents by title but don't actually know how to run a country. Yeah, I'm not getting back to the States after this. This is where my friend lives. This is his address. Don't worry though, he knows I'm coming. I got some külakost. I told him that we need to play railroads for a video, but honestly, I'm just sick of beating AI, and I want to beat a real person for a change. What a loser. Thinks we're going to do something productive, but I'm here to just kick his ass. Sid Meier once said that the hardest part of game design is capturing the elusive quality of fun. His approach was simple. Focus on the fun parts of a simulation and throw out the rest, even going so far as to shelve entire games that didn't live up to that mantra. And when I look back at this game, I think that's exactly what drew me in. It wasn't complex or flashy, it was just pure fun. But even with that in mind, I still wonder, is my love for this game just nostalgia? I've proven to myself that it's more than just a simple train game. But then, why aren't there modern remakes? Why doesn't it have the same kind of community as other classics? Maybe it never appealed to a wide audience. Maybe it just wasn't that good. But it was good enough for me. And is it just... Get fucked. To keep my cover up for the gaming session, I even recorded hours of footage and a full-on interview section with him. That's never gonna see the light of day. Haha, get pranked, bro.